Hello, everybody. This is Drew Thomas here. So, right after I did last night's stream, I've always wanted to talk about the history of my channel. And so, I think it's time I talk about it. So, first, a little bit about me. My name is Andrew, and my real name's Andrew, but I like to be called Drew Thomas for short. However, before I was called Drew Thomas, I simply went by Andrew. And I was born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I moved to Missouri when I was like 4 years old. And so, yeah, me and my brother were both born in Michigan. And, well, it's a really nice state. Although I think, okay, I was born in the Lower Peninsula, however it's pronounced. But, well, yeah. But anyway, I spent half of my childhood, well, not half of my childhood, but like 3 years of my childhood in Michigan. And then finally, I moved off to Missouri, and we pretty much lived with my mom's father, which was my grandfather. His name was I'm not gonna tell. Well, I am gonna say his name. His name was well, we call him Papa Ron, like Papa John's. Great, now I want pizza. But anyway, so around that time, I also got my first train sets, which were Geotrax trains. And well, however, oh man, I'm getting a bit too ahead of myself. Now let's go straight to where I got into trains. So when I was a kid, every time before we go to bed, or after we say our prayers, we have our stories read. Um, my dad would my biological dad would pretend he was a train and drive us and will take us to our beds, calling it the bedtime train. And yeah, then it came the time of Christmas, and well, you see, the Polar Express was coming out in theaters. It was 2004, and the Polar Express had just got out in theaters. I was around 2 years old at the time. Yeah, the first movie I saw in theaters was, well, Shrek 2, and well, my mom had to carry me out because, well, I was still a young toddler, and well, I either had to have a change or I was just tired of it. Either way, I pretty much ruined Shrek 2 for mom. While I didn't ruin it for her, she still enjoyed it. And well, after that, eventually, um, it was like December of 2004, I'm pretty sure. And well, the Polar Express was coming out in theaters, and so they were also hosting a library story time where we actually got to go in our pajamas to go see the Polar or go read the Polar Express book, and we had hot chocolate and cookies. And so then we went to see the movie, and needless to say, that's how I got into trains. My first train set was Geotrax trains, which was trains made from Fisher Price. That it was a road and rail system. Well, it was actually a rail and air system because they did have Geo Air, but well, it doesn't actually fly. It just goes on a track, but it looks like it's flying. But I had this train, and I nicknamed it Fisher Price train because, well, it's a train and it's from Fisher Price. And the first Thomas I got was Wooden Railway Thomas, and yeah. And well, I was diagnosed with autism. Yeah, I have autism, and I'm proud of it. It's not a trait of me though. No, no, no. Anyway, so yeah, then eventually when I turned 4, I moved to Missouri, and yeah, then eventually after a while we got my own. I got my own house. Well, we got our own house, and then well, started living there. And also around that time, my mom really wanted to take me to a day out with Thomas because I was into Thomas the Tank Engine at the time. That and also superheroes and race cars and tractors. I was into a lot of things. But Thomas and trains have always been my thing since I was in diapers, literally. Because I was like 2 years old and I was still in diapers. So yeah. Anyway, so then the first the first railroad that I visited, I don't remember, but the first train I went on was a pumpkin patch train. But well, the first railroad I went on in Missouri was the Emerson Zoo Line Railroad. And then, well, there came 2008. My father's company, which was ATI, was hosting a company picnic at, of all places, Six Flags. I remember passing by and I was like, it's a carnival. But it wasn't a carnival. It was more than a carnival. Who am I kidding? It was a theme park. And I also saw that they had a train. And well, I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh, they have a train. But I'll never forget when it was 2011, and well, we went for the same reason, company picnic. And well, I wasn't really in a thrill riding mood that day, so I just rode the train three times in a row. But now I've ridden it more than three times. I've ridden it a lot. Sometimes I go with a full lap. Sometimes I go from station to station. But yeah. Anyway, so then it was 2013. And while we were living in a log house, and well, I got to blow the whistle of the Six Flags train. And yeah. Now, now that's just simply the history of me going railroads. Now we go to where the history of my channel comes in. So, like right after that year when Six Flags and got to blow the whistle on the train, haven't been since uh, 2013. But I was still happy. I was still content. I got to go to the St. Louis Zoo a lot, and well, my my father was starting to take punishments though at a more intense way, where eventually he brought out a spank paddle, and well, the punishments got more painful and more intense. But anyway, so me and my sister would, and so me and my brother would always play trains, but with my sister, we would just have her be the audience and not have her play because, well, she was still young. But then eventually we had her play and she brought her My Little Ponies, and then we crossed over the Tom's universe with the My Little Pony universe. And that's what basically became the basis for Drew Thomas. And so then it came the year 2015. I went to summer camp at Camp Encourage. And well, I also had my Text the Robot stress ball with me because, well, they said I could bring toys because, well, yeah, being autism has its ups and downs. Because, well, you get to bring stuff that makes you feel comfortable to that summer camp. Because it was a summer camp dedicated for kids on the spectrum. Needless to say, it was a really fun camp. I mean, yeah, I felt juvenile at times, but well, it was still fun. But anyway, so it's 2016. I I started visiting out of state. I went to Florida for the first time. And I also went to South Dakota and found a water park that reminded me a lot of Six Flags. Still wishing I was there. But then my biological father left me, and yeah, good riddance. We cried, but then we got over it, and we've been turning towards God. And well, then there came 2017. Um, I was that was the most I went to the zoo. You see, I went. Okay, see, I went to the zoo first that year and on February. You see, my nana was surprising us. You see, we were going. You see, well, all I know was that we were going to Sam's Club to pick up some stuff. We stopped at the gas station for a treat, and then we got close to St. Louis. I was like, wait a second, I'm just getting that feeling, like that nostalgia feeling. And then we headed down Hampton Drive. I was like, oh my gosh, could it be? No, it couldn't be. And then we were there. I was like, are we going to the zoo? And then first mom was like, no. And they said, ha, just kidding, we're going. And I was happy. But anyway, Also around that time, I had a camera and I was just filming little videos with the zoo train. I filmed the whole train ride for crying out loud, which, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. In like 2012, like late 2012, the early 2013, I had a little camera recorder, and while I'll just film random stuff with my trains and my cars and my VHSs. And well, I've wanted to upload them to YouTube, but well, let's just say it wasn't as good as what's compared to today's videos. And well, yeah. Yes, Hudson, you said it. Welcome to the St. Louis Zoo. But anyway, so I filmed the little videos with my camera recorder, and then that camera recorder got destroyed, so didn't have a camera for a while. And then there came the year 2017, and that's when I got a new camera. I started filming stuff with my trains, and well, I wanted to start a YouTube channel called Andrew the Rail Fan, or for short ATRF, which which would be like in the similar style of like BNSF, but well, that was an early title name for my YouTube channel. And so then in 2017, that's when I met my, stepfather that I currently have today. Great father. I love him. Probably the best father I've had. Way better than my previous one. And then I got my first phone for Christmas. And then I wanted to start a Facebook account because I wanted to get back, because I wanted to stay in touch with my friends after my first year of high school. And so then eventually I started adding people on Facebook, and I realized, wait a second, I could do my videos on here because you can upload videos on Facebook. And so I started doing like little Tom's Tank Gym videos on Facebook. And the name of my Facebook was Drew Thomas. Like it was me, which, Drew is short for Andrew. And well, I love Thomas, and people would think that's just some random person. But well, yeah. Now that was back before I was afraid to show my face, but now I actually show my face, and well, and well, then there came the year 2019. I got a I I got a new phone. It was better, and then well, eventually it was September, and finally I got out my phone and I was like, I'm gonna start my YouTube channel. So I did a farewell video on Facebook to doing videos on that, and then I came to YouTube. And so first my videos were vertical and well crappy, and I only had my Thomas the Tank Engine trains. And then I decided to do some St. Louis Zoo railroad videos. Oh yeah, this was during the Drew Thomas Pictures era. Yeah, back when Drew Thomas was just, Drew Thomas, and well, that was when Easy Road Productions was first called Drew Thomas Pictures, which would which which we'll get to that later. Anyway, so then I did St. Louis Zoo videos, and well, you would say I love to go into the zoo. And then it was November. I went to explore the rails with my mom and my dad. Afterwards, to a Willy Wonka play that my cousins were in. But first, we went to explore the rails, and then I got a surprise awaiting me when I got home. So we had a nice pizza dinner for my birthday, and finally, I opened the present, and I got The Simpsons. Now, before that, I also had Mark and Tex. That was also during the Drew Thomas Pictures era, the pre-Drew Thomas Pictures era, before the company was even made. Anyway, so then eventually I met Gregory. I met him when I was, commenting on a vegetables post, and well, yeah. Now, first impression, I was like, he seems kind of rude. And then, eventually, I was nice to him, and then what did he do? Boom! He made my first logo. Thus, Drew Thomas Pictures was born. However, I wasn't just going to stop there. Very soon, there came 2020. I did the first video I did with great editing was, well, it was the Thomas and the Super Bowl commercials video, which was still horizontal. Anyway, so then there came March. And then I did horizontal. So this is how it used to look. And then, boom, it now looks like this. 16:9 aspect ratio. And then, but then, just as things were going good, COVID broke out. But before COVID, I met Wyatt. Now, how I met Wyatt was, if you see my previous stream, I was afraid of feature presentation logo. Then I overcame my fear, started watching film reel bumper videos, found him reacting to the film reel bumpers. I started liking his channel, started commenting in like 2019. Then boom, he started, noticing me. And thus, abracadabra, we became friends. And then during the pandemic, we started doing streams together. He would ask me to do VHS openings, and then he started streaming with me in person. Then we would talk, and we would talk, and we would play, and we would watch VHS openings. And I also went to the zoo around that time and did a 16:9 aspect ratio train ride, where it was no longer vertical, it was horizontal. And so then afterwards, I decided, okay, I want to do something bigger. And so my mom and my dad talked about going on a boat for, well, the summer. And so we decided to, go to a marina and rent a pontoon boat. And we would, go and we'd go sailing all around Table Rock Lake. And so I thought, wait a second, wait a second, I've always wanted to do an episode where The Simpsons recreate the Boston Tea Party. The first idea I had was they fill up their bathtub and then they put the tea in there and they, bathe in there. But then I thought, no, I want to go bigger. And so then when I heard about the boat thing, I was like, oh my gosh, idea. I do Thompson the Fireworks. And thus that's how that was made. And then I've been making a lot of videos back then too. Like I made the character watch and teach X logo videos, and they've gotten bigger and better. And then I wanted to do a whole episode dedicated to Tex the Robot. And so that's when I made A Day in the Life of Tex the Robot. And then I made some similar to Indiana Jones called Oklahoma Drew, which only had one episode. And I don't think I've ever been to Oklahoma. And I'm not even from Oklahoma. I don't know why I did that. It's just sounded like Indiana Jones because, Disney for Mickey Mouse Clubhouse did Kansas City Mickey, and I thought, yeah, that's good. But then I realized, wait a second. Oh my gosh, actually I just realized it today. Walt Disney lived in, Marceline, which is near Kansas City, so that's why. Okay, but this isn't about Mickey Mouse, this is about me, Drew Thomas. The Mickey Mouse of, trains and crossovers. And so later in 2020, all the events I had was fun, but yeah. Alabama James. That is clever, Hudson. Very clever. But anyway, so then later that year, after I visited the Frisco 1501, I realized how fun my, stepsister and stepbrother-in-law were. And so I decided to, I wanted to go to Six Flags with them. And so the summer times were going to be coming to an end, so I thought I could go for the Christmas event. But then I realized, I've also wanted to go to Fright Fest. And so I went to Howlfest. However, I wanted to do some special. And also during that before time, way before all that happened, you see, after me and Wyatt did a stream, he posted something on his timeline and tagged me in it. It was a film poster. Now, I had the idea of making a movie and my thoughts for a while, but it didn't come into fruition until 2021. Now, I first announced it in 2020, and well, I wanted to plan for it. So my first attempt at making a movie, I went to Six Flags for HalloFest, and I made Thomas and the Haunted Amusement Park, my first full-length special. And that went over my, 10-minute mark. I went for 30 minutes. Yes, it was 28 minutes, but when you round it up, it's 30. But anyway, then afterwards, I I was going somewhere, so then I made a trailer promoting all my other great products and stuff. Not products, but my videos and stuff. And so then eventually that became my channel trailer, and in that trailer I used the song Happy Days from the Paramount Family Favorites promo because I thought I always liked that song. And it came from the TV show Happy Days, and until I showed it to a couple of my friends in high school. This was also my senior year. And also for that Halloween, I got quarantined, so at least I got to watch my Halloween special while I was in quarantine. But yeah, I got quarantined twice that year. First time I got quarantined, it was like a couple weeks before my Six Flags trip, and I was like, I hope this doesn't interfere with Six Flags. And then the second time I got quarantined, it was after my Six Flags trip. Oh yeah, me and Tails met in July. Anyway, so yeah. Oh yeah, friends. I've also met Tails, and then eventually I decided, okay. Also that same year I was of 2020, I was watching shows to pass the time because I had nothing to do during quarantine, so decided to watch some shows. One of the shows I watched was Angry Kid, and the other was Happy Tree Friends. Now my brother's seen Happy Tree Friends before. He's even liked Happy Tree Friends. His favorite character is Flippy, and well, you see, when I first saw Happy Tree Friends, I was like, ew, why do you even like this stuff? However, then in 2020, I started getting into it, and I was like, well, what have I got to lose? Then eventually I started growing into it, and then eventually I got sick to my stomach because I thought of one of the episodes, and then afterwards I got over it, and well, I was no longer afraid of Happy Tree Friends. In fact, I started to love the characters, which is why it's seen on Haunted Amusement Park episode, movie, whatever it is. I think it's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie. It's yeah, it's pretty much a movie. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to save that for another stream. Anyway, so yeah. So I wanted to include the Happy Tree Friends in my series, but I thought, are there any toys? And then also that same year, I've gotten into another TV show. After seeing Robbie Shaw's videos, I've heard about PB&J Otter. Well, I've heard about beforehand because that's one of the shows I watched when I was like really, 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 really young. Like I barely even remember it, but then when I watched it, I just got that nostalgic feeling. And I also liked the characters, and thus I decided when I was working on the script of Drew Thomas the movie, I thought, okay, I really want to include the otters in my movie, but well, I need to find toys. And so for Christmas that year, I asked for PB&J Otter toys. But that year, which was also the same year I got Cuddles and Flippy, I made the Thomas Express, and well, it was a great one. I threw in a reference to the show because well, I started throwing a bit where they boarded the Thomas Express, which that's just a first attempt of crossover. Because well, yeah, and then eventually I got Cuddles and Flippy, and my mom said, we tried finding you PB&J Auto toys, Drew, but there are none in existence. And I was like, oh, that's sad. And so my sister offered to make them out of clay. And when it was dry and ready, the movie We Shall Play. And so there came a new year. I vowed it would be a better year than that gosh awful year of 2020. And so it came 2021, and I started work on deciding on what I was going to do with my movie. I was working on the script, and I finished the script in March of 2021. I did some alterations though, but anyway, eventually the Otters were also finished and I filmed the video with them, and then I got, well, lifting shifting, and I did Drew and Cuddles' Silver Dollar City Adventure, which was the last attempt of, well, making a movie before I would make Drew Thomas the movie. And so it was coming near time of graduation. I was promoting my channel like crazy. I was I was wanting to do videos with I was wanting to do videos to make myself happy. And I've also had my first real girlfriend, which was Megan Kramer. And so then we dated for a while. That was also during the time I made Drew and Cuddles the Silver Dollar City Adventure. We were dating. And then, well, high school started to become hell. So before prom, like earlier that year when I was making Show Me Trains. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's how I met Tori and Alexa Bowling. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Dummy Car. Now, during the time I was friends with Gregory during the pandemic, his friend Race the Blender animator decided to mess with him because he was making bad choices. Gregory was making bad choices. He decided to, well, bully and harass him by making a rip-off account of his own, which, it's actually funny now that I look back on it. Although they were offensive. At least oh wait, never mind. He said the R word. And literally the first line in the Nut Nut Banana song is, "Hello, retards and girls. This is your old pal Gregory Dummycar here." But anyway, yeah. So he was a problem. And then, like earlier in 2021, I faced the YouTube troll police, and then fight, 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 fight. And then eventually, during the time I was making my movie, the fighting was like starting to slow down. But during the time I was making the first Show Me Trains episode, the rest of my friends were going to Arkansas or Arkansas. At first, I was like, man, it's probably not going to be fun. And then eventually, I heard them talking about while we were filming for an Airbnb commercial, and and because I was in a media solutions class, and I heard them being like, "Oh man, I like spending time with you guys. You guys are amazing people." Like we were in Arkansas, and I was like, "Well, I wasn't there." I just wandered off and I just felt sad. But then eventually I just, held it together for the whole day. And then when I got home, I forgot I remembered how sad I was, and I was like, I'm gonna post on Facebook about how I feel left out. And so then they talk to me like a third person, like, they say, we're gonna invite Drew to our prom dinner. And so that's what they did. Before prom, they went to dinner, and well, yeah, they invited me for dinner, and they were also one of them were late. But anyway, yeah. And the one that was late was the one that planned the prom dinner. I got to hang out with my friends though, had fun at prom, got to have that dance with my ex-girlfriend before. And then eventually, it came near the time for the year to end, and while also on the 1st of April, April 1st, I went on a college trip because I thought it was college tour. And then they were signing me up, and I was like, okay, what's happening? Is this like a practice sign up? Nope. I'm going to college. Well, I was going to go to college. And so I realized, oh, fudge. I accidentally applied for college. I guess that explains the student ID. Yeah, they applied me for college. I didn't even ask for it. Like, I just wanted to see the college because, well, I was interested. But then when they signed me up out of nowhere, I was uninterested. But anyway, so had to do A+ tutoring, got to help, I had to help students with their work. But thankfully it was easy days. The first day they were watching We Can Be Heroes. The second day was when, they were just having activities. And also that same day, I've just received news that the senior prank was done, and I was like, wait a second, how come they never told me? They didn't tell me about the senior prank. So yeah, I felt left out, sad, and betrayed. And so, yeah. Sorry, throat clearing. And so there came, well, um, that and so later the day I was like so upset with my friends that I decided, you know what? I have to wait to flip the bird at them. I'm just gonna tag the people that actually care for me and leave all those other people out. And I literally flat out called them out saying if you weren't tagged, you should really step up. I was pissed because they did the senior prank without me. Me, my sister, my mom, we were pissed. So the next day, well, I could hear my mom, and my sister talking. I was like, oh no, what's happening? And then I've heard that they were being and then I heard that my friends were being keyboard warriors, or yeah, I think it's like keyboard warriors. I don't know if it's keyboard wizards. No, it's a keyboard warriors. And they were just, showing the true colors, and I just felt sad. I just felt sad and betrayed. The next day when I went back to school, well, the first day was when I did, Special Olympics, my final Special Olympics. Gosh, I miss those days. And then finally, there came the year. Then finally, uh, unfortunately, that day after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to be extremely silent to them. I'm not going to address them. If they try to speak to me back, I'm not talking to you right now. And mom said that I could leave if it got too much, I could leave. And so when I got into the class, I just, kept a scowl. Yeah, I had a pretty big scowl. I was serious. I was like, don't interact. Just sit there and, act bitter. They'll know not to mess with you. But she's like, hey Drew, so we were thinking maybe we could help you with a YouTube video. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I need to go to the bathroom for a second. And so he sent me to the bathroom, and then, I went to the bathroom, called my mom, started crying because I was like, why would they do this to me? This was uncalled for. And so I got taken out of school early. I was pretty sad, had a cry, had a drink. Well, not a drink, I just had McDonald's. And yeah, dark day. Eventually, I made the video, which was Thomas kind of goes to school, well, film school, because I was during the time I was playing my movie. Still, oh, trust me, I still have Petunia, and she's bitter with them. But anyway, I'll get to how I got my Petunia plush later. But anyway, so yeah, during the time I was in high school, I was also playing my movie. We made a whole checklist of the locations we had to visit. And so then the last day I did A plus tutoring, that's when I first heard the full song of Sweet Caroline. And thus I liked that song, and so I decided I'm gonna do a music video of that song. Okay, now Drew Thomas music videos, how those started was, I was like, I like seeing those videos where people putting crashes, accidents happen. And so I thought, wait a second, maybe I should do like my own music video series because Ravi Shaw and well, a bunch of other people have done those like AMVs, CMVs, PMVs, which then eventually I decided to not put DTMV, I would just put a Drew Thomas music video because I wanted to be technical. And thus Drew Thomas music videos were born. But fast forwarding back to 2021. So I like Sweet Caroline, and also I was like, oh great, now that song stuck in my head. And also, shortly after I graduated college or high school, I graduated with honors, and well, had a nice dinner with my friends, and yeah. Well, not my friends. Well, okay, well, not my fake friends. I mean my real friends, the friends that actually cared for me, including my girlfriend, which would soon break up with me later. But yeah. Anyway, so then eventually I started work on Drew Thomas the movie after I graduated. And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna start to work on Drew Thomas the movie, and also around that same time, um, my original phone got broken, so had to buy a new phone, which is the phone I'm currently using for my live streams. And then eventually there came the 50th anniversary of Six Flags. I actually went to Six Flags on the 50th birthday, and it was a lot of fun. I even got to see fireworks that night, which for some strange reason they played the Universal fanfare. They played High Hopes by Panic! At the Disco, and Brother by Need to Breathe, and Bye 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 by NSYNC, which I've recognized all those songs. Two of them I would make into Drew Thomas music videos. But Brother I heard twice that day. First I heard while I was in line for the Joker. I even sang along. And then eventually I heard it a second time when it was playing during the fireworks. I was like, oh my gosh, two times, man. And I was so happy. Also for some strange reason, they played the Universal fanfare. Like the like if you popped in Universal TV, you hear da 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 bum bum. Anyway, so yeah. Speaking of logos, also in 2020, before Thompson Haunted Amusement Park, I made, well, my Scary Logos list video, and that became my most popular video. However, the one I'm most proud of, I'm getting to. It's Drew Thomas the movie. I was working on it. I went to all the locations. I filmed, and then finally, after months of filming, it was time for editing. It was still, well, actually, while I was filming, while I was at Six Flags. It was my last day filming at Six Flags, and so I was in my conductor outfit. I had Thomas. I was filming the scene where Tommy G scares off Diesel 10, and Thomas is happy that Tommy does so. And so, yeah. Then eventually, I decided after that long filming, I decided to board the train. And so the engineer asked if I was boarding, and they told me to board and come see him. And so, with Thomas in my hand and my bag on my back, I eventually got to look inside the cab. I even got to sit up in the driver's seat. He showed me how everything works. He let me ring the bell, and then they also let me blow the whistle. I could see it come. I was like, is he gonna let me blow the whistle again? And then when he mentioned the whistle, I was like, I think he's gonna let me. So I said, all right, now give it one toot. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm blowing the whistle. And then I blew that whistle loud and long. That was better than the 2013 whistle blowing because I got a train ride afterwards too. And also that same day, you see, I've asked Mom for a Happy Tree Friends Petunia plush because I wanted to feature that in my videos. And then eventually, after I came back from Six Flags, we were going to my cousin's birthday party at the Owensville pool. My mom told me to look in the passenger seat for something. And then I looked, and there in a plastic bag was Petunia. And I was happy. And so on the car ride home, I I thought about how well my day was, and I took Petunia out for plastic wrapping, and I hugged her and I hugged her. And I'm hugging her again right now. Yes, I may stop cuddles, but I love Petunia still. And then finally in July, I finished filming. I had to edit, and so I edited and I edited, and I also had to change some things around. First, I was going to include the song "Take It Easy" by the Eagles, and that was during the time it was still unfinished. And while unfortunately I haven't watched the whole movie all the way, and so it was still unfinished. And so I've uploaded it to Easy Railroad, not knowing it was not finished yet. And then, but thankfully I was safe because it told me that "Take It Easy" got my video blocked, and I was like, oh crap. And so I had to think about what to replace it with. I had to think of another song to use, and so I thought, okay, what about "Fly Like an Eagle"? Because we just mentioned the Eagles. I mean, I could just use another Eagle song, but then I thought "Fly Like an Eagle." And so then afterwards, eventually, it was finished. Then there came premiere day. I still had a couple of surprises in store. I dressed in my character clothes. I even brought Thomas and Percy themselves, and we've set up a projection screen on my on like the in my own backyard. And while we decided to host a graduation party slash movie showing, and they were my test audience pretty much. They all loved it. They all loved it. Everyone clapped, everyone cheered, everyone sang along, everyone smiled. And so then eventually I didn't just stop there. I made the Thompson Express 2 Spirit of the Season. I wanted to continue. However, now that I look back, I still wonder if those people still remember me. I know that occasionally I would visit the gas station, and my friend, not my friend anymore, but I call it Evil Smith because her real name is, I'm not going to tell you. Let's just say, I'm kidding. I'm just gonna drop there. But she works at the mobile gas station in Bourbon, Missouri, and occasionally I'd just pop by, and she'd be working there, and she'd be like, "Oh, hey, Drew," and I was like, "Oh, hey," I just like pretending to be happy. But anyway, then also around the time I met Damien in Enterprising during the pre-movie era, and you see how I met him was I did a read-up with Thomas Lawrence for Thomas the Magic Road for the 20th anniversary. And so Enterprising saw that, and I was like, huh, how this kid wants me to star in his redub. I think that's nice. I'm sure he'll prosper someday. However, he wasn't a kid. He was an adult. He also introduced me to a friend from New Zealand, in which his name was Damien Wilson. And this was before I, knew about his issues, we were friends for a while, and then, we've had a couple bumps during 2021 and like the later year. And so, yeah, I wanted to start work on Person Halloween Amusement Park Purge, which would be a sequel to Haunted Amusement Park. It was originally going to be a role reversal of the Haunted Amusement Park, but I thought, now I'm going to change it around to where Percy visits it during the Purge, because I just saw SML The Purge. This was around the time I was into SML. That's what inspired some of the jokes in Drew Thomas. And then, unfortunately, my sister got into a car crash, and then there were storms, and so I couldn't do it. And so I delayed it to, this year, and I'm going to try to do this. I will start production in September, and I'll finish by Halloween. I might upload it before or after Halloween. Yeah, I've been through the drama with those two kids, those two kids I met, you see, while it's with Damien and Enterprising, you see, see, around that time I was joining one of Damien's streams, and eventually, when he joined one of my, then when I joined one of his streams, LPS was there. She played the Barney I Love You song. I realized, oh my gosh, she's just online dating with a bunch of boys. That's extremely unhealthy and weird. And so I pretty much started a rebellion against her. And then Damien admitted that he liked her, and then eventually that started drama with Edward Films. I first met him on a stream of Falcons, and yeah, he was a petty jerk. I didn't like him. And then I met Austin from Australia. At first he seemed nice. He also hated Edward Films, and then he became his friend, and then he and Edward Films turned against Enterprising, exposed his face on YouTube and his name, and then they added a screaming sound effect over his face. Like I really felt sorry for him. I wanted to help him, so I took down Edward Films' YouTube channel with copyright strikes. which how I figured out the copyright strikes was in 2021 when the UTTP were stealing my videos. So I was like, I'm not going to get rid of these. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to try this. Try this. And so I tried reporting for copyright. My first attempt was a failure. The second attempt, though, it actually worked. Like it actually, like when I had submit and actually submit, I was like, oh my gosh, it worked. I didn't miss any personal information or something. And then eventually the content was removed and I was happy. That's how I did my first copyright strike. And so then around the time I was sick and tired of the, Damien Enterprising and Edward Films drama, I decided maybe it's best if I stay away from Damien. And then he got upset with me, and then he started, ranting on me. And then eventually we worked it out, and then, well, later that year, we just started fighting with them worse, with Edward Films and Austin. And then eventually I had a stress I had a I got stressed out with Damien Enterprise thing, and I was just like laughing, I was yelling, I was crying, I was losing my mind. That was also before Halloween, on the day before I went to Six Flags for Fright Fest. Then eventually we settled that, and then we had a fight on my birthday, and then we had numerous fights after that. And now here we are. I decided it's best if we distance ourselves. And so, yeah. Now, Damien wasn't the cause of all the fights. I was the cause of some of them. He was the cause of the other half. So this is both of our faults. And also around the time I was making the Thomas Express 2, I thought, okay, I've heard Alex Stingley's Edward voice, and so I thought, okay, maybe for the Thomas Express 2, Edward gets a new voice, and he's going to be voiced by Alex Stingley. And so I asked him. He said he could do it, and then he became Edward. And then eventually, I finished my first season of Drew Thomas and Friends. Worked on this. That I started work on the second, and that's when I got into another good TV show, Bluey. Now, how I got into Bluey was, when I first heard about Bluey, I was like, it's just another Peppa Pig. It's just going to be some lame ass kid show. But then eventually when I saw clips of episodes, I was like, huh, it feels like a kid show, but at the same time it doesn't. And then eventually when Joshua got into Bluey, I was like, oh, he must really like the show. I might check it out for myself. On a Disney Plus, watched a couple episodes. I thought, okay, maybe I can have the healers part of Drew Thomas, because I've seen Bluey toys in the aisle where Thomas and Friends were. So then eventually the healers became a part of Easier Productions. Well, having autism, Asperger's, ADHD, and OCD doesn't stop you from being a good YouTuber. Never give up hope. And that's what I did. I never gave up. Not for 1 second. I made these videos happen, and I still have great videos in store with my upcoming 4th of July special and my upcoming Halloween special and my third Thomas Express movie and my third part of the Scary Logos video of the top 5 scariest closing DVD and VHS logos. So brace yourself, have no fear, and we'll see you that Halloween for that video. And there's a fucking gnat flying around me while I'm telling the story. But anyway, so now how I come up with the name Easier Productions, during the time I was making Drew Thomas the movie, I thought, okay, if I'm going to open up this movie, well, I cannot just put as, Drew Thomas presents a Drew Thomas production of a Drew Thomas film in Drew Thomas's house, Drew Thomas the movie, starring Drew Thomas, effects by Drew Thomas, music by Drew Thomas, directed by Drew Thomas. And so I had to come up with an alternative. And so I thought, okay, need to think of a new name. So I thought, okay, I love the Emerson Zoo Line Railroad. And so I thought, wait a second, the letters are E and Z. And while we have those two letters together, it says EZ, like everything's easy. And thus, that's how I came up with Easy Railroad Productions, because while Easy stands for Emerson Zoo Line, and while eventually when I had to come up with the logo, I toyed around with the designs on Power Director, and then I found this one where it was like this, it was like this vintage title, and it looked like the front of a steam engine, and so I thought, okay, this could be a good way to make my logo, and thus that's what became the basis for Easy Railroad Productions. Take it easy. Ha! Anyway, so yeah, that's how Easy Railroad Productions came to be. As for Drew Thomas Productions, it's still around, although I might consider ditching the Blue Castle. I'm still questioning whether or not I should do that. Oh yeah, August, I broke up with my my girlfriend broke up with me, and while I thought it was gonna be over, eventually in September I decided Six Flags was having a Bring a Friend Day, so I think I'll invite my friend Layla because we were friends in high school. Then eventually found out how fun it was. I wanted to ask her until she got another boy. And then she broke up with him, and I thought, oh, the gates are opening. I'm gonna go for it. And so I asked her, and I knew she was perfect for me. We both loved Six Flags. We both had so much in common. And thus, that's how I have my girlfriend, Layla Missy. I still stay in touch with some of my old friends in high school, but well, yeah. For the most of them, I just, don't really care for them anymore. In fact, I'm pretty sure one of my friends is just, he did a lot of drugs. I don't know if he's just, drugged himself to death or if he's just, not active on social media anymore. Which I'm gonna go check on that after the stream. So that's how Easy Railroad Productions came to be. And Drew Thomas. So subscribe to both my channels, both Drew Thomas and Easy Railroad Productions. And we hope you enjoyed this story, which this is not like story time with Drew Thomas, which I'm still gonna do that series. I might do another episode soon, but yeah. Anyway, so this is Drew Thomas signing off. So special thanks to Hudson, Tails, and well, everyone else. But anyway, this is Drew Thomas signing off. Good night, and pickles suck.